You are tuned in to KXWR Warrior Radio. This is Raquel, and today we are joined by Diné College student Tylia Begay, who recently represented tribal colleges at the Association of Writers and Writing Programs Conference in Maryland, Baltimore. Tylia attended through the Tribal Colleges and Universities Fellowship and is here to share her experience. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone, Tylia?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Tylia Begay. Do I do my clans?
Could you go closer to the mic?
Oh, do I have to do my clans?
Yeah. Just do it however you want.
Oh, okay. My clans are Toglini, Modishkijni, Tachini, and Bitefni. And I major here in business management and the Navajo Nation law.
Okay. What are you studying here at Diné College?
I study business management and Navajo Nation law. I'm double majoring.
Okay. How did you first hear about the chance to attend the AWP conference?
I heard about it from my professor, Dr. Yolanda Franklin. I was taking a class with her last semester, and I think it was an intro to literature class. And she gave it as an extra credit assignment just to apply for the AWP program because she applied as a faculty mentor.
Okay. What did it mean to you to be chosen for this fellowship?
I thought it was a great opportunity. Even though writing isn't something that I focus on as a career, it is something that I do in general. And it was a great opportunity for me to meet other writers and other than writers specifically.
Okay. And then you said this started as an extra credit assignment. When did you realize it could turn into something bigger?
I actually didn't really know about the program, like what it really was. I really just applied because it was for extra credit. And Dr. Yolanda Franklin did tell me that it was about to go to the conference. And she did tell me that it was fully funded and that it was, I think it's a 4-5 day experience that I went on. The conference itself is 3 to 4 days, but my trip was a little longer because of all the travel. And I didn't realize it was such a big thing until the hotel and the travel, the airplane and stuff was booked. I didn't know that we were actually going to be flown out. I kind of thought the writers' conference was just going to be I don't know, maybe a Zoom thing.
I was going to say that. I was she probably thought it was going to be a Zoom or something.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that serious.
Okay. And let me ask you, what was it like when you first arrived at the conference in Baltimore?
It was actually pretty big. We arrived there the first night pretty late, but I arrived at the same time with Ramona Emerson, who's a current writer. And I think one of the students, the fellows was also in the same car ride with me and Dr. Yolanda Franklin when we first arrived. So that was pretty interesting in itself, just riding in the back, because I got to sit by Ramona Emerson in the back, and I was just chatting it up with her. She was really cool, really laid back, nice to talk to.
Awesome. So the AWP conference is a big event with many writers and artists. What was that experience like for you?
I thought it was a really fascinating event. I went to, I think, a conference similar before with Diné College too. The National Student Leadership Conference that I went to last year was kind of the same, in the formatting way. They had conferences in these big rooms at the hotel. Well, no, the conference in Baltimore wasn't in a hotel, but the National Student Leader Conference was in a hotel. And it was similar to that in the way that we just met up in like big rooms, and you would see presentations of people, or like in some of those presentations, you also got to do a lot of networking and meeting with people and like talking to people. And but it was also different in the way that we got to do a lot of offsite events. There was a lot of things to do around Baltimore that I found really interesting that were also connected to writing. Like there was a Indian book club after party, and they had like an event. Oh, there was an Indigenous writing, like poetry reading, where a lot of Indigenous writers and readers came, and the Indian book club, girls book club, came over, and they hosted an event after that.
Wow, a girls club?
Yeah.
That sounds really fun. So Jimmy's gonna ask you a few of the questions that we also wrote.
Yeah, so the AWP conference is a big event with many writers and artists, like we just talked about. What was the experience like for you? Did I already ask that question? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Did we? That's the same question. Anyways, so like the conference. The not authors that you were talking about, you know how you said that Ramona Emerson, she was very easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Were you able to talk? What was it like talking? Did you ever talk to Jake Skeets or Laura Tahoe?
Yes. Laura Tahi was one of my favorite writers, actually. She's one of my favorite poets, so it was really a great experience to meet her. We got to have like a luncheon with them, and then there was also a reception that we had with them.
Yeah.
And Jake Skeets attended the reception, which was really interesting. I didn't talk a lot with him, but he was also very nice. We also, almost all of us, even Laura Tohi, at the end of the conference, we like got in the same airport and everything, and we went through security and everything, and we still chatted up like old pals because they're that easy to talk to.
Really?
Yeah, they're really cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like talking with them.
Yeah, and then were there any workshops or sessions that stood out to you? Because I've never been to like any of those conferences, so like from an outsider point of view, like how was it like?
Some of my favorite meetings that I went to involves the writers in Gaza. There was a lot of advocacy for writers in Gaza and artists in Gaza, specifically about the Palestinian and getting just their word out and learning more about them, getting awareness about them. I thought those were really fascinating because they talked a lot about like the current administration and the current politics, and I think we just relate a lot as natives to Indigenous people across the world.
That's good. And there were talks about banned books and censorship. That's funny. Just kidding. Irony. Just kidding. What did you take away from those conversations, like we just said about Palestine?
I actually really enjoyed them. Like that's something that I'm personally fascinated with, banned books, and specifically it's something that I talked about in my book club here at Diné College.
Yeah.
I think it's a really important topic to talk about, not just like politically. I think banned books and censorship are things that anybody should concern themselves with because everybody has the right to free speech, and we should have the right to publish what we want and to talk and to create things as we want, you know?
Yeah. That's really good. Really good question. And why is it important for Indigenous voices to be heard in spaces like this?
I think it's really important for Indigenous voices to be heard because there's not a lot of Indigenous publishing press in general, and not a lot of Indigenous like famous writers in general.
Yeah.
Like even when my conversations with Ramona Emerson and Laura Tohi, as they're pretty like well off and pretty prominent writers themselves, they don't get a lot of funding because of the current administration. Like, you know, a lot of DEI stuff were cut, which was like a lot of native funding.
Yeah.
And so it impacts us all when we talk about current politics and current things like writing and banned things and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's really good. Can you talk about your mentor, Dr. Yolanda Franklin, and how she helped you along the way?
Yeah. Dr. Yolanda Franklin was a pretty great role model throughout. She's a fantastic writer herself. She allowed me, when I was attending her class, I think she allowed me to understand her as a writer, because she has a lot of different perspectives as, you know, she has her own culture and she came from a different area. She's not from around here. And I think that was very important. She introduced me to a lot of HBCU fellows. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term. It stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. So we connected with other people in those cultures in that spaces like that, which I found pretty interesting because, you know, we just don't get a lot of intersectionality like that around here, and we don't meet a lot of other cultures, being as we're the net focused institution. So it was pretty cool to meet with other people in that way. And I think a lot of people from those schools were very interesting. They had like a lot of dances and a lot of like after events too that they were very welcoming at. Like there was never a closed event or like we couldn't attend just because we're natives. They welcomed everybody and they were very nice and everything.
That's really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it and her experience with taking me along with her with that.
Awesome. So, what did you learn about publishing or writing that you did not know before attending this event?
I learned a lot about like marketing, and this is more my business side coming out, but like I learned a lot about how to get out your like how to get out press. And there was a lot of, in the book fair specifically section of the conference, there was this huge like kind of a gymnasium, I guess you would say. I don't know if that's the right term. It was this huge section of this huge building of booths that were set up of different publishing press, different magazines, different like student-led press from different universities and everything like that, which I got to contact and connect with. And they give you like their information too, because they have open submissions for writing. So it was like just a great place for finding places to submit your writing and getting your writing out there.
All right. So, how has this experience changed you as a student or as a person?
I think the experience changed me as a student because, as I've mentioned, I'm not majoring in writing and it's not something that I'm focused on, but it is something that I have a passion for. So I think this experience just kind of inspired me to do more of it because it was something that I wasn't like necessarily lacking on, but it was something that I kind of fell back on and wasn't pursuing as a passion that I felt was picked up with this conference because I got to meet the famous writers like Laura Tohi was one of my greatest poetry writers that I'm obsessed with. So meeting with her was a great experience.
Also, what advice would you give to other Diné College students who want to try something like this?
I think my advice always is, I always tell my friends that you should always just apply to these things. A lot of people think that like writing as a profession is just very pretentious and that you have to be very good at it. And like you have to get stuff published before you can submit things and that you have to have an editor and stuff like that. But you don't really. Everything that I've been published in and everything that I have submitted for the conference was submitted by me and edited by me. And it's not very hard to apply for things like this. And now the TCU is actually open for the applications for Chicago next year.
Wow. Okay. So what now are your plans moving forward with your writing?
I don't have anything specific. I'd like to just focus more, I guess, on Indigenous led voices. I do a lot of Diné writing just because I'm a Diné writer, but I'd like to also focus on Indigenous people across the world and across the country. I think a lot of BIPOC people's rights are being threatened right now, and that awareness is something that I want to focus on.
Okay. So you did mention they are taking applications for next year. I feel like you answered this, but what would you say to someone thinking about applying?
I think I would say if you're looking to write, you should find somebody that helps you or motivates you to write just in the way that I found Dr. Yolanda Franklin. If not reaching out to her, reach out to your professors here at Diné College, or reach out to the advisors here, because there are writing tutors that can help you with your writing if you want to do that, and if that's something that you want to look into.
All right. And the final question, what does it mean to you to represent Diné College on a national level?
I think it's very important to represent Diné College, as it is where I am attending, but also it is, as it is named, it represents our Diné people. So I think it is very important to represent my people across the nation, no matter where I am and no matter what I'm doing, whether it's writing or whether I'm being a student elsewhere.
Awesome. I really like your answer to that. And, it's good to see other students succeeding in things like writing or art, and just expressing the way that, we are already artful, creative people. And yeah, that's really good to see. So that was our fellow Diné College student, Tylia Begay, sharing her experience at the Association of Writers and Writing Programs Conference in Baltimore. We are proud to highlight the voices and stories of our students here at Diné College. You are listening to KXWR Warrior Radio.